guys, welcome to the
Hey, guys.
Farmstead. We are up in the greenhouse today and we are going to show you some Bootstrap tools. Bootstrap tools are tools that we've either made or tools that we use not for their intended purpose.
And that's laying around the farm that we are using for something else.
As most of you know, we don't have tractors, we don't have equipment, we don't have machinery. We do everything by hand. We actually use the working end of a shovel around here. So we are going to get started. Steven's going to show you a couple of tools and then we'll move on along.
This one or the rake?
Either
Or
one.
the pitchfork?
Whichever one you want to do.
Okay, so you want to explain it?
Okay, this is what we call a wire weeder. And what it does is once we've planted seeds and they've started to sprout and you have little weeds come up in your rows or whatnot, this will get them out without disturbing too much of the soil around. You can get pretty pinpointed around any of your plants, any of your weeds. You can use a corner of it, you can use just a piece of it. It doesn't go very deep, and it'll knock out those noxious little weed seedlings that pop up in every single garden.
Correct.
So
You can go between the little plants that's already there, weed them out. It doesn't have to be a big row, it can go in little spots.
we actually have another one that Steven made me that is a little smaller. The loop on it is a bit smaller. Do you want to tell them how you made that?
Just with wire. I don't know the actual size. I think it's 1/4 inch wire.
I don't remember, but if somebody wants to know the gauge of the wire,
Right.
put it in the comments,
Yeah.
because this will be on YouTube.
Correct.
Put it in the comments and we can look that information up.
So you just get that, you do a little bending on it, get a couple little hose clamps, broomstick, mop stick, whatever it is that you have around that you're not using, and screw it to it. And there you go.
You could also even make it interchangeable. So if you didn't want to have 5 or 6 of them set up in different sizes, different bins, different things like that, you could just have the heads, the wire pieces, kind of on a carabiner or something,
Right.
hanging up, and just unscrew your little hose
And these
clamps
are very simple to undo.
yeah,
They're
and
little-
just swap them out. So then it's a multi-use tool. It's not
Correct.
just for one thing. You can use it for lots of different things. But super easy to use. We actually keep that up here in the greenhouse because it's super easy to use in this in these beds up here. So that is tool number 1. And we
Okay.
call that the wire weeder.
What else?
Everybody knows what this is, right?
Don't do that.
No.
So go ahead.
So, most common use for one of these tools is what? Oh, probably cleaning out the goat pen or picking up poop from the cows. Or,
Something like that.
Common uses for a pitchfork. While it does get used for that around here, it also has another use. We use it also for making rows in our beds. So look at that. Beautiful pre-marked rows right where we need to put some seed. And this seed spacing that this pitchfork gives us is actually really good for our lettuces because we want those really close together. When we harvest it, they're going to be baby. They're going to be smaller size, so the closer they are together, the more we can get in here, the less weeds we're going to have. This spacing is also good for beets, it's good for carrots, it's good for radishes, spinach, kale, anything you want to cut that's going to be small, as far as leafy, would be good for this. And then we just come in with our seed pack there. Sprinkle in seeds in each of our little rows. And once that is planted, we'd give it a quick water. And up here this time of year, what we would do is once it's watered, we would then take some plastic sheeting. And you know what? You can get this any hardware store. It's nothing fancy.
The 4 mil plastic, 20 feet by 25 feet.
Yep. And what we basically want to do is just cover the bed up. Once it's been watered, kind of create its own little greenhouse, even though it's in the greenhouse.
Greenhouse inside the greenhouse.
Yep. It's just going to keep that soil a little bit warmer and help those seeds germinate a little faster. And then once the seeds get germinated pretty good and are growing good, then we take that off and let them do their thing up here.
And how long is that typically? About a week or two?
Well, it depends on the seed, on the crop. Beets
And
take...
how cold it gets.
Yeah, and how cold it gets. Beets take a little longer to germinate. Lettuces, usually it's just 4 or 5 days and you can see lettuce sprouts. Carrots take about a week, 10 days, something like that.
Gotcha.
So
Good. Good to know.
all right. So for our next part, or for our next Bootstrap tool that we use, one of these. Everybody's got a muffin tin. No, this is not one that we use to bake in.
Yeah. This one stays up here.
This one does not get used for anything but this. But this is kind of a neat tool to use for different things. So what you're going to do is take your muffin tin with the butt side down, and you're going to place it right in your soil, just like that. We're going to give it a step.
You guys can see those
Can
little
you see
divots
those little
there?
divots? Guess what? Those are fantastic spacings for a lot of different things. So, if you have something you need close together, you can plant them 4 in a row. This also gives you the option of kind of spacing things a little further apart. So if you were going to grow, say, head lettuce, you'd want further spacing. So what I would do if I were going to be growing lettuce, the full-size head lettuces, I would probably put one in this first guy, but then I wouldn't put another one until here. And then I would kind of just stagger them down so that you have even spacing using...
So you want about a foot apart?
Right. So that they have plenty of room to leaf out and to grow. Using a muffin pan. One of the other things that I would do with this is potatoes. So potatoes, when we plant them, they're roughly 9 inches apart and 9 inches apart. So, and the way that we would do that, you could actually use this muffin pan method just as easily to get your the proper spacing. And how we do potatoes is with this guy. Everybody has one of these. You can find them yard sale after yard sale after yard sale because everybody wants to plant bulbs, but nobody actually wants to plant bulbs.
They think it's a great idea.
Everybody has one of these. Guess what? You can use them for potatoes. You can use it for leeks. You can use it for a lot of things.
Cutting out plastic.
Cutting out plastic. This actually gets used for a lot of different things around here. Not bulbs. We don't plant bulbs.
Everything else but.
We do a lot of things, but not that. So, when we do potatoes, we also want them about 9 inches deep, which is just about as deep as this goes. Pull that out. Whole potato. We want the eyes facing up. Get it down in there. Cover that up. And so then we would use this hole over here since we're using that muffin pan. And same thing. Get that potato, eyes up. Get it down there all the way down. hurry it up. So what we would do with potatoes using this, once they have started to sprout and they're probably 5 or so inches above the ground, we would come in with some straw and kind of hill around them. You always hear about people, oh, you have to hill potatoes, you have to hill potatoes. You don't have to hill potatoes. And by hilling potatoes, I mean hilling up the dirt around the potato, because supposedly it grows more potatoes. Not had that experience, but I do know keeping straw on the top and keeping the straw very thick, you get great potatoes, nice sized, not giant baking potatoes because we're growing them so very close together, but these make very good, like new potato size, roasting potato size, something like that. But yeah, that's how we would use this Bootstrap tool, and most everybody has them.
And if you're wondering, guys, these are white barrels in the greenhouse that we wrapped with plastic bags.
Yep.
Filled them with water, wrapped them with the bags, so it will supposedly heat the greenhouse.
Yep, we need it just to stay above freezing when we get ready
Correct.
to plant up here, and so we're hoping these will help us keep just above freezing. That's all we need.
Yep, and it's
Just
pretty
above
nice
freezing.
in here right now.
It is. I mean, I'm in a short sleeve shirt, so
Jackets are over there hanging up.
yeah, it's pretty nice up here. And it's kind of cloudy.
Yeah.
Outside, it's pretty windy and it's cold.
And we had some snow earlier.
Yeah, I think it's only like 40-something degrees out there.
And I don't
today,
even think it's that.
but in here, it's nice.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right, we'll get ready to show you some more. All right, so our next Bootstrap tools. We use seed pods, soil pods, for, I guess they're actually called soil blocks, when we are doing our planting. And what a soil block looks like, I've got some really old ones here from last year. It's this cute little square, has a hole in the top, we put our seed in, and it grows, and then when it's big enough, we put it into a pot so that it has a little more space for roots and whatnot. When we're ready to plant, we just drop the whole thing in the ground. Oh, look, beautiful celery. And we've not had to fidget with a pot. We've not had to, really try to figure out how to get it out of there. Yada, yada, yada. These are easy. This tool looks like this. So you can order these from Johnny's Select Seeds. That's actually where we got this one. They're not super expensive. I want to say it was like maybe $30, something like that. This will make 5 1-inch seed pods, but you don't have to have one of these.
It all depends on what you're looking to do on your garden.
There's other options, and so we're going to actually show you another option for that today. We're actually going to have a class on soil blocking coming up in March, where we're going to go over like really how to do this. And what our soil mix is, and yada yada yada, all that good stuff. So look for that class. So this is the Bootstrap version of this. Everybody has tin cans. If you don't have a tin can, you can find somebody that has a tin can.
Mm-hmm.
You want the kind that you can take the top and the bottom out of, just like that. Make it a hole. Everybody's got a stick. This is just a PVC cap that fits inside my tin can. So then we're gonna go to soil mix here. And this is our, what we like to use. Kind of a combination of some peat moss and some potting soil and some compost and a few other things in there. And this time of year, you kind of need everything started in one of those cool little greenhouse things with the lid. Hold on one second and I'll show you what I'm kind of talking about.
What are you going to do?
So, one of those things that has a tray like this, and it's filled with the little you know, peat moss pods and has a greenhouse lid, and you know, it's, I don't know, 15, 20 bucks, something like that at, you know, the Home Depot or the Walmart or wherever. You don't have to. So if you're starting seeds, you're looking at, you know, just say $15 for this guy, $30 for this guy. That's 40 bucks, 50 bucks. Say 50 bucks to start seeds. Doesn't have to cost that much. So when we started, obviously we used Bootstrap stuff. You know, what can we do? How can we make it cheaper? One of the things that we came up with was this guy right here. You know what? Go to the dollar store, cake pan with a lid.
There's your greenhouse.
You get 2 of them for $1. Mini greenhouse. Hey, look, I can do the same thing for a whole lot less money than what this is going to cost me. And so can you. So let's talk about this seed pod maker. We've got some soil here. It's not very wet. We'll get it a little wetter so that you can see how this is done. So you want this just to kind of, you know, look, stick together. When you, and this is fish water. So we have a big fish tank up here that we use to water all of our seedlings when we're starting seeds, so that they have that extra boost of nutrient. I'm going to fill this guy with dirt.
And did you talk about the screw top on there?
Not yet.
Okay.
So this size can, the pod that this makes, it's kind of big. And what we use this size pod for, I'm just going to press it down so that it compacts it all together, and then push it out. Maybe. Hey, look, I squished it too hard. Oh my gosh. That really just came apart. Let's try it this way. We'll do it again. Fill it up. Smash it down. And I broke it. Daggum. This really is not that difficult. It's been a minute since I've used this one. But if I ever get one, you guys get the blooper version of this. Hey, look, that's close enough.
That'll work.
So, I think my dirt's not quite wet enough to hold together. So you can see that this has a little hole in it right here from this screw. And what we like to use these bigger pods for is corn, pumpkin, watermelon, squash, the plants that have much bigger seed, because they work better with this bigger hole. You put your seed in, cover it up, put it in your little greenhouse tray, and voila, you can get, I think,
probably 12.
A dozen, maybe 15 or so pods in this little cake pan. And look, you've just planted 15 pumpkin plants. I don't know. The other soil block, the one that we got from Johnny's, I can actually put 40 seed blocks into that same cake pan. And it's pretty easy to do too. Same kind of concept. Squish it down. And voila. Oh look, I didn't fill it all the way full. But you can see it does the same thing, the same little holes right here in the top. We use these for everything: tomatoes, cabbage, cauliflower, broccoli, you know, all of those kinds of things. We use those for. So, hope it helps. You don't need expensive tools. Some things are just super easy to use, and you don't have to spend a whole lot of money to get started. And I think that's the biggest takeaway, is just to get started, guys. So if you have learned something, if you have questions, leave us a comment. Make sure to hit like, share, subscribe, so that you know when the next video is coming. And we will talk to you guys soon. Peace, love, and chickens.